live stream. And today we're going to talk about the Osmo Pocket and why I think it is the perfect camera for anyone shooting YouTube videos, for vlogging, for a variety of different things. So hopefully everything is on. What's going on here? An error occurred. Please try again later. Okay. Hopefully that's not showing live, because I did all the right steps. So guys, as you come in, let me know you're here. Just in the chat, just let me know what's going on. Let me know if you can see me and hear me and all that. They're saying that the stream is live, but I am getting an alert that's telling me that there's some type of issue going on. So let me know if you can see me and hear me and all that. If not, I'll tune out and then come back in if I have to. So yeah, just let me know that. Let me know what you guys see, if you see anything. And I guess I can probably, in the background, go over to the channel and see if everything is on there. So, yes, today we're talking about the Osmo Pocket. And we're going to talk about, yeah, it looks like it's on now. Okay, excellent connection. Perfect. So guys, let me know, just let me know coming in the room. When you guys come in the room, first thing you do, please hit that like button, and then also let me know you're here so I can give you a shout out. And so Samuel, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by, buddy. Let's see, you can see and hear you. Great, great. Chris, how you doing, Chris? Thank you for stopping by. So today we're talking about the Osmo Pocket, and I am going to convince you today that the Osmo Pocket is the best camera that you can get for YouTube videos. When it comes to run and gun stuff, or when it comes to, especially if you're just starting out and you don't know what camera to get, this is probably the best camera for you to invest your money in. And there are a few different reasons we're going to go over, but I definitely think if you are one of these people who you don't know too much about video and how cameras work and all that stuff, then the Osmo Pocket is probably going to be the best camera for you. So what we'll do is we'll do shout outs in about 5 minutes. I'll give some time, some people some time to come in. As you come in, please hit that like button. It's very important. I do not have that many subscribers right now, so if you guys are new here, please subscribe to the channel. I will be putting out more content, at least one video per week. And we'll be talking about a variety of different things. We're going to talk about camera equipment. We're going to talk about lighting. We're going to talk about sets. I'm going to get to this whole set that I made. I didn't really make it, but created this whole set here. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to do a video on showing you exactly how to get the lighting right and everything. And I'll also be talking about photo or video editing. So I'm going to show you guys how I edit videos. And I think and I have two different ways of doing things. Obviously, I do some vlogs, but the majority of the stuff that I shoot is just sitting here. So that's a lot of the video that I edit. And then I do live streams. We're going to talk about live streams too. Not in this video. It's kind of weird. I'm saying we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that. But in the future, that's what the channel is going to be all about. We're going to be focusing on all these different aspects of making videos. So if you have a YouTube channel, if you have any type of video channel, there are other channels out that you can, Facebook and even TikTok and all this other stuff. TikTok's a little bit easier. I think the standard is a little bit lower when it comes to the quality. But if you are interested in the quality of video, that's the reason why you should tune in. And that's what we'll be talking about a lot. So if you have ideas for sets and you don't know how to light it, then this is the perfect place for you. So let's go ahead and get started here. And we got about 5 people in here. Please hit the like button, everybody that's here right now, so we can at least push it out to more people and have YouTube promote this out. Now I have 2 screens, or 2 cameras I should say, and I have a camera that's set up right here, so it'll be great so we can talk a little bit about the Osmo Pocket, and I will go over everything that I have on this camera I'm going to talk about today. And I should pull it up on Amazon too, so you guys can see prices and everything, so you'll know exactly how much everything costs that I have with my camera. So we'll get into that in a second, and we'll really get into the nuts and the bolts of video work. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience, okay, with the Osmo Pocket. So I've been using this now for about a year. Actually, no, it's been a year. I got it in December of last year, December of last year, and it was interesting because I had never bought an Osmo before. Now, this isn't the first Osmo that's been released. They've had some different Osmos out there, so this wasn't the first one that I got. But I'm sorry, this wasn't the first one that was released. This is the first one that I got. So I was a little skeptical about how the Osmo Pocket works and would I use it, but I reluctantly bought it. Let's just say that. I was thinking, yeah, you know what, $350, it's not that much. I might as well go ahead and just buy it. I already had some DJI products before. I had some drones, and so I'm like, you know what, it's a good product. Let me see what it's all about. And so I went out and I bought it. And at first, I wasn't very interested in using it all the time. But as I started using it, I started finding that over time, this was the only thing that was coming out of my bag. And just to tell you about the different cameras that I have a Panasonic G7 that I use for all of this footage here. So the videos that I'm doing live streams on, I use a Panasonic G7, as well as when I shoot my YouTube videos, I use a Panasonic G7. It shoots 4K, 30 frames per second. It's perfect for that, for these types of scenarios. I also have a Panasonic LX10, which now looking back on it was a mistake. I shouldn't have gotten that camera. It's not I don't recommend it. It's a very small point and shoot camera. I don't have it anywhere around so I can just grab it and show it to you guys. But very, very small little camera. Not worth it. Not worth it. It was, I want to say it was close to 500, I think, to get that camera. But I wouldn't recommend getting that camera. The other camera that I have is the Sony a7R III. Excellent camera, but it's too much. It's overkill for a lot of situations, especially if I'm out traveling. I do not want to bring that camera out when I'm traveling to shoot video. Now, when I shoot photos, I have that camera. It's perfect for photos, but walking around the street holding it out, talking to yourself, it's a little much. Okay, so I don't really recommend getting a big camera like that and do the little Casey Neistat thing walking around. That might draw too much attention to yourself, and depending on where you are, that scared me. Depending on where you are, that can say a lot when it comes down to things. If you travel to some different countries, you might not want to have a big camera out, but if you have this little Osmo Pocket, people aren't going to even know what it is. Most people will walk right by and they don't even know what you're doing with it. There are different ways that I use it. So if I have my phone here, I might have it right over my phone, and I can just hold it like this and walk around. And I have the camera, the camera it's what they call it, like flashlight mode, so the camera's pointed out that way. And I'm just walking around. I have my phone in my hand, looking at my phone or whatever. I can even have it synced to my phone if I want to do that. That way I can see the video that I'm capturing. But I can just walk around like this. Most people don't even pay any mind to my camera at all. This is perfect for situations where you might go into a store or something like that. And there are situations where you go into a store and they do not want you to record. So if you bring a big camera into a store, usually they're gonna tell you, hey, there's no recording. And I don't know, I didn't really know that was a thing until I started doing it a little bit, and then I realized oh, okay. Yeah, that's a thing. They don't like you recording in stores. I've never been told that well, no, I'm sorry. I've been told, my buddy was told once that he couldn't record, and we were in Costa Rica walking around in a Walmart, and they said, yeah, you guys can't record. And he had a small camera there. He had a little GoPro, but he had it on a gimbal, and a big gimbal, right? So he's walking around with a big gimbal, and so they told me he couldn't record. But if you're walking around like this, in most situations they're not going to even know what's going on, and so they're not gonna have any issues with you doing what you're doing, just walking around like that. So that's kind of the way that I'll carry it a lot of times. Or you can just walk around with it like this, just hold it out, and I can turn it on so you guys can see. But just hold it out like this and just walk around with it. And most people don't, I'm telling you, they do not pay attention to this little camera. And so it makes it a really good setup. Now, I've shot a few videos with this camera for YouTube, where I didn't think, when I first got the camera, I'm thinking, okay, this is perfect for B-roll, which means you can just walk around and just get video of just walking around town and get kind of like the little slow pans and all that stuff. But I didn't really think about using this camera for for like shooting a full video where I'm talking and I'm even doing sit down interviews, stuff like that, interviewing myself or interviewing someone else. I didn't think about using it for that, but it works. Okay, and I'll show you guys all the little reasons why it works. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the price. We talked a little bit about it already, but it is $350. That is just the camera. And so let's zoom in a little bit closer here so we can see here. So just the camera, just this camera here, and I guess I'll take off this stuff here. Let's make it a little bit easier so you guys can see exactly what it looks like without all the stuff that I have added on here. And you'll also see how small this thing is. It's really tiny. Like this is it right here. And we're talking, what happened to that can? Let me get my soda can here. Okay, so this is the soda can, and this is the Osmo. So you see it is a little bit taller. It's a little bit taller than a soda can, but obviously it's much thinner than a soda can. So you can just see how small that is and how easily you can just walk around with that. So very, very, is that in my camera? Okay, so very, very small, easy to handle. You can put it in your pocket. That's one thing that I like about it. The fact that I can walk around with this in my pocket, and then when I need it, I can just pull it out. And I'll show you exactly how I put it in my pocket, because that's a little trick in itself. It's not, one thing that they should, and I'm sure they're gonna release another one of these cameras. These are very, very popular. So when they release another camera, hopefully they'll be able to fix some of these things. But one of the things is you can put it in your pocket. However, if you use a little the little case that it comes with, you can put it in your pocket. You won't have any issues. But you have to take it out of that case every time that you use it, which for me is a little bit of a hassle. So I like to have it ready to go and have everything hooked into it. And you can't do that. I can't have the same setup with the using that case. It's just not big enough. So okay, so this is what it looks like, $350. It does have a little cover that covers this, and then you can also hook it directly to your phone, which I don't recommend doing because hooking this to your phone just makes it big. And if you look at it, let's see, it would be like, I'm getting it all confused here. I don't have the little attachment because I don't even use it. But you figure this is what you're gonna be holding. So obviously it's a lot more. It's a lot bigger, and people will notice it a lot more if you have it set up like this. So I don't recommend doing that. I don't do that myself. I just use the camera. Now, when it first released, in order to use the Pro mode, you had to have your phone hooked to it, which they've since changed, and they've made a lot of good firmware updates recently where they've changed that. Well, they changed that a little while ago, but they've also changed and improved the autofocus here, so the face auto detect, which is really good now. I won't say it's really good, but it works. It'll do the trick. It did have some focusing issues when it was first released, but one good thing about DJI is they will listen. It's just like they're very similar to. They remind me of Sony. Sony was this way with their cameras, the mirrorless cameras, Sony A7R3 and all the Sony A cameras. When they started coming out, they really listened to their customers, and when they had issues, they were there to correct those issues. And so that's something that I really like about them. Guys, in the chat, just let me know if you guys have any questions, or if you have any concerns about like the Osmo Pocket or how it works and all that stuff. Just in the comment section, just let me, or in the chat, just let me know. Also, just let me know so I know you guys are still there. It's saying there's 5 people here, but I don't know because there's nothing in the chat. So just let me know that you guys are still here. All right. All right, and if you guys have any questions about something that you want to see, just let me know too, as far as this camera goes. So this is the setup. This is the camera without anything set up, right? So the first thing that I went out and bought, and I actually bought this as a kit. There's one more piece. Let me hold this down here. These are the two little things. There's actually one more piece, so you get 3 total. I don't use that other piece, so that's why I don't have it. It makes it like a GoPro, so you can use it like you can hook it to GoPro accessories. I don't hook this to any GoPro accessories, so I don't need that. And I'll show you why I don't need to hook it to GoPro stuff, because I have another little device. So this is your little wireless module. Now this is excellent because this allows you to hook this up to your phone wirelessly. And so I can control everything that the Osmo Pocket has, all the things that the features that the Osmo Pocket has. I can use it remotely. I can have the Osmo Pocket sitting somewhere and just control everything, dial in, even to the point where I can move the camera around, which is amazing. So, like, let's say you have a security camera and you can move that little camera around. Same thing with the Osmo Pocket. I can have it up somewhere and I can just move the camera around, hit record when I want to hit record, time lapse, do all that stuff, and I can do it remotely, which is excellent. In the future, with their next release, I'm hoping that they put that inside the camera. So inside the body, I wouldn't even mind if it was a little bit larger, but have that inside. And they have the Osmo Action. That's their newest release, like their action camera, and it has it all in the camera. So I'm hoping that with the Osmo Pocket, the next one, they'll have it in camera. So that's the first thing I have, this little device here, and it just sits at the bottom there. You just clip it on. It does have a little bit of room here, so you can just set it down on stuff. So that's nice. Whereas you see the Osmo at the very bottom, it does have, it's rounded, right? So it's rounded, so you can put it down, it'll sit, but it can rock a little bit if you hit the table or something. Whereas this is more, it's flat, right? So I wouldn't even mind if they keep this whole design and just have the wireless thing built into the bottom here. That would be nice. So you have that, and then the next thing we have is a scroll. So this scroll wheel, I do use this. I use it a lot more than I thought I would be using it. And this whole kit, I believe it was about I want to say maybe $110 or something like that for the whole kit. It might have been just a little bit more, but you get 3 things, like I said. And so we'll go over, I'll go to the Osmo, I'll go to DJI's website after this, and we'll take a look at some of the prices here. But this is great. I like this because you can do the scroll where I can have the camera go up and down, and then I can also have the camera go side to side. So if I want to do like a slow pan, and I use this like I shot a video where I was at a restaurant on my other channel. So Travel Explore Click. If you guys go over to Travel Explore Click, you can check out these videos. There's some videos that I have that I shot with the Osmo Pocket. There's one that I was at a restaurant. I shot that one, and then there's also another one where I was at a fruit market in Colombia, and I shot that. Everything was shot with the Osmo Pocket. Okay, so this is great, and it's, like I said, it's a scroll, so it will do like a pan. You can do the tilt also, so it works really well for that. It's also great too if I'm walking down the street and I want to do, like I was telling you, I just want to hold it out like this and have like flashlight mode. You can do that with this. It works well. So I can just scroll it, put it the way I want it. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So once I have it attached here, I can turn on the camera, and then with the scroll, I can move the camera up. So if I want to just walk with it like flashlight mode, I can walk with it like that, and then the camera is just pointing straight ahead. And so you can do that. So that's a good feature there. Okay, so I have those 2 things, and then I also got this thing here. And this is just a cover. So it covers the front of the lens here. And the reason that I like this one is because I like it, but then I don't like it. One of the reasons that I like it is you can put a filter. So if you have a filter, you can still have a filter in there, and it's not going to block. You'll still be able to have this thing set up. Now, if you see the way it's designed, I keep getting messed up with the camera here, but you see the way it's designed here. It will keep this in place, but if it moves around a little bit too much, like if it's in my pocket, it's going to move and it's just going to pull this little part off. So it's not a secure fit there. It does move a little bit, okay? So you never want this gimbal to be moving around in your pocket or in your bag. So what I've done is I got this little thing here, and all it is Velcro. And so I just have the Velcro. I'll take it out. I'll put the Velcro over the top. You can also use a rubber band. I was using a rubber band before this. And then you just tighten it that way. So now when it moves around, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to stay in place. And so that's usually the way that I have it when it's in my pocket. But this allows me to have these other little things on here because if I have all these things on here, I can't have it in that little pouch that it comes with. It just won't allow it to go that way. Now the last thing that I have is this little part here. And this is just, the main reason I got it is because it has a 1/4-20 on the bottom. So it's a tripod, so I can hook my tripod, or screw my tripod in. I can actually screw something else in at the bottom if I want to do that too. So that's the main reason that I got this. But I find that if I use a little leash here, I can hook that into it, and if you see there, the leash is just up against the body here. So once I get this into the place that I want it, let me just get it down here and just show you. So if you guys look at that, it's just sitting right underneath the record and the on button. And then you just close it off like that and drop it down just a little bit more. And then it just has a screw. And this is all metal. So this thing is all metal, which is great because really good quality, and I don't have to worry about the plastic warping or breaking or anything like that. And all I'm doing is just screwing this little screw in, and it will tighten it up against the camera there. So that's it. That's my setup. Now you see some other little things here. I have this little cold shoe mount here. The reason that I have that is if I want to use mics, and let me show you here. When I'm out walking around, and when I shot some of the videos that I was shooting in Colombia, there was a few things that I needed, and one was these mics. So these are relatively new, Ceramonic Blink 800 or Blink 500, Blink 500s, and they work well. I've noticed some interference with these though, and I'm gonna have to do some more tests with them. When I was out in Colombia, there was some interference, so I want to check to make sure that they work properly. You guys also see that I have the Rode Wireless Go on, and so I use this now for pretty much everything. The only reason I use a Ceramonic the only reason that I would use it is if I want to mic two people. It has two mics. So that's the power of the Ceramonic system, is I can hook two mics up. So you have two mics and the what do you call it? The receiver. So that's the reason that I'm using these for stuff like that. So when I was at the fruit market, that's what I was using. But the setup is easy. All I need to do is just put this in. So you have the cold shoe mount here. You just clip it into the cold shoe mount. So just slide it on in there. Let me loosen that up just a little bit here. All right. Now let's take it out. It's actually not moving at all. Okay, so let's loosen it up a little bit here. Let's slide it on in there and then tighten it. And so now I have the receiver here, and then I have the transmitter, and you just have the transmitter on me, just like I have the Rode mic. Same thing, just clip it on if I want to do that, or I can use the lavalier mic if I want to do that. And then I just plug this in. Now you're saying, okay, well, where do you plug this in? There's nowhere to plug it in. Well, and this is another thing that I'm hoping that they change in the update of the new release of their Osmo Pocket. They have this little device here. Okay, so this goes right into the USB-C. Now this will not work in this USB-C. So you see, keep messing the camera. Okay, you see this USB-C. This will not work in here. Okay, it's not, this is for charging only. So I do have to take this off, and I would have to put it underneath here. Okay, so this one will work, and then plug that right into there, and then that is the way this setup will look. And so I can walk around, and I can shoot video, and everything is still relatively compact, right? It's not too crazy. So that would be the setup there, and this can get the job done. If I want to do a vlog, I can walk around all day holding this and shooting. Now, battery life. I know battery life was an issue. Some people were thinking, oh, well, the battery, it just doesn't last that long. It lasts probably about 45 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes. But the beauty of this Osmo Pocket is I can use the power banks. So if I have a power bank, I can use these power banks, and all I need to do is get a USB-C and then hook them right into the USB-C. And I'm telling you, I could walk around for 4 hours and record, get 256 gig card in here, and I can walk around all day. And I did it. I walked around for about at least 3 to 3.5 hours with this camera when I was in Colombia. I was out at the Carnival in Colombia, just walking around with this, and it worked fine. I had no issues at all with it at all. So really good setup there. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Let me know about any questions you might have about it. But that's kind of the way that I walk around with it, to be honest with you. This is my setup, especially if I know I'm going to be talking. If I'm just shooting B-roll or I'm just shooting video of different things, then I don't need to have the mic all set up like this. But if I know I'm going to be talking, then this is the way that I'll have it set up. And it's an amazing little camera. So let's look at some of the prices. I do want to go over the prices with you guys, just so you guys have an idea of how much some of this stuff costs. So you can kind of figure that in. Now, looking at different cameras, looking at some of the different cameras that are out right now, the Osmo Pocket is $350. Now they have a sale. I believe it's about $300 right now. I think it's about $300 now. Maybe it wasn't $350. It was $400. I think it was close to $400 when I first bought it. But now they do have sales. I've seen some sales out there where it's, I think I saw it as low as $300 at this point. So really good deal if you're in the market to get a camera. I think it's a really good deal. But if you compare it to some of the other cameras that are out right now, let's say the Panasonic G7, which I think, like I said, is an amazing camera, but it's not going to give you that same stabilization. So the beauty with the Osmo Pocket is everything is built in. Stabilization's built in. This is what I used to walk around with. I used to walk around with one, I don't want to take the gimbal out, but it's the size of this box. I used to walk around with one of these things. And even though I was using I'm using a Sony action camera, so a very small camera. If I wanted to hook my phone up to it, I could hook my phone up to it as well. But you're walking around with this big thing. You have to balance it every time that you use it, which is another pain. So not only do I have to carry that around with me, so I can't just put it in my pocket, but when I do take it out, I have to balance it every time. So if I want to get a shot, if I want to get a shot with this, it's as easy as taking off this Velcro, taking this off here and turning it on. And I'm ready to shoot at that point. Whereas with the other setup, it takes time. You got to set it down. You have to balance it. If you have any different weight, different lenses, stuff like that on your camera, then now you have to balance it differently because of that. So it just takes so long to use. Those spontaneous moments where you see something happening, you're not going to want to pull that camera out, right? You're not going to want to pull the camera out and the gimbal out. But with this, I can pull it out, get that quick shot, put it right back in my pocket, and I'm on my way. It works really well, too, when you're in a car, because I can just pull it up, get some footage, and then put it away. And the beauty of shooting out of a car, you're already in a smooth, you're in a car, and most cars are pretty smooth as far as the stabilization. So you have that, and then you put this on top of that, and you get a really nice smooth footage So it really works well in those situations. I use it a lot for those car shots. You know, like if you're doing a vlog and you want to show you leaving from one place going to the next. So you can show some of those car shots, and they look. And before, back in the day, I'd get the car shots, and they were horrible because they were all shaky and the cars bouncing around. And with this Osmo Pocket, you're getting nice footage pretty much all the time. So that's good. What this is not an action camera. So this is not one of those cameras that you're going to want to throw on your bike or put on the top of the hood of a car. You can do that, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It's not designed for that. And if it does fall I've dropped it a little bit. You know, it's bounced around a little bit. I haven't dropped it like from any distance, but you don't want to have this, like, you don't want to use it like a GoPro. It's not a GoPro. It's designed for kind of that all-around solution, but it's not durable enough to knock it around. That's why they have the Osmo Action. So if you want something a little more, get that Osmo Action, and that will work out perfectly for that. This has a focal point. That's another thing that I really like about this camera. It has a focal point, so it's going to focus on my face. The background will be blurred out a little bit, which is good. It looks more like a camera. GoPros, the Osmo Action, all these different action cameras, the Sony action cameras, they don't have a focal point. Everything is in focus, and that is one of the big indicators that people are using GoPros. Like, I can see video and I'll know it's a GoPro, and the main reason I know it's a GoPro is everything is in focus. So with this camera, it does have, although the sensor in the camera is very small, it does have a focal point, so it will focus on a certain subject, and it will blur out the background a little bit. So it makes it look a little bit more professional if you're using it for that. The angle of view is not as wide as a GoPro or an Osmo Pocket or an Osmo Action. So that is, at first I wanted that wider angle, but now that they have the different little filters that you can get for this camera, you can open up that angle a little bit more. But I'm fine with the angle. If I use, and I will do this from time to time, this is another option too that I didn't talk about. You can buy other little accessories. So I bought this accessory, and this is overkill. It's usually not this big, but I was using it to set on the table. Let me just kind of go over. So there is a video that I shot where I'm sitting in a restaurant, and I had this. And what I did is I had it. We'll flip back to the screen here. I had it on the table in front of me. So I had it on the table in front of me. I just hooked it in like this. I don't even know if I'll be able to get all this on camera, but we'll try to do our best here. So I just had it set up like this, and let's see. Yeah, so you can pretty much see. So I had it set up like this on the table in front of me at a restaurant, and so I'm eating and I'm talking as I'm eating, and all I need to do is have the camera set, focused on me. And it worked perfectly. And I just had the mic and everything, so I was mic'd up and everything, so I had that all set up. And I can just sit there, I can talk. Yeah, it's people will see it, but it's not a big camera. People always look for those big cameras. That's when they really get a little nervous. And restaurants, they don't want you to shoot there. Usually restaurants are pretty friendly because they know that for the most part it's good for them. It's good business for them. That you're shooting there, you're giving them free advertisement, really. Hopefully the food is good. If the food is bad, then maybe they might have an issue, but it's usually a good thing. But yeah, this is the setup that I would use. And the beauty of this little setup here is this is a power bank. So I can plug in a USB and then plug it directly into the Osmo Pocket, and now I can run this. And this is, when I was talking about the power bank that I used before, I was using this a lot too, where I would just walk around, and all I needed, and you don't need this, I don't need this bottom part here. I can drop it down so it's even smaller than this. And that's usually what I was doing when I was walking around. But you can just walk around with this like this, have it charging the whole time, and I'm getting hours and hours of footage just like that. And it's far enough so when I hold it out away from me, I'm still getting a pretty good angle. Like I'm getting a pretty good angle as far as the stuff around me. I'm still getting I'm still getting a lot of the stuff around me. Let's just put it that way. So even though it's not a wide angle, it's good enough, especially if you have just a little bit more of a reach. If you have a little bit more of a reach, it'll work. So that's another thing that I use. Let's see. So pretty much talked about all that stuff here. Any other questions, guys? Go ahead and put it in the chat. We're going to go over some of the prices here just so you guys have an idea of how much you would have to spend. But when you compare this, and this is another camera that I can use if I really wanted to. I can use this camera for shots like this. Like I'm using this camera here now. The quality is not going to be as good. The quality will be probably more of a cell phone quality, but as long as you have good lights, if you have a good lighting setup, you'll be fine. And I will be shooting some videos on this channel using the Osmo Pocket. I'm going to start using this a lot more. And so you can still use this and just have it set up somewhere. And the beauty of it is I can move that camera around. So it works even better than a traditional camera because of the fact that I can sit down and get everything set up. Now my routine is I have to sit down, see if I'm in frame, and if I'm not in frame, like I need to move over a little bit so I'm directly in the middle of the frame. But with this, all I need to do is set it down and I can move the camera to me. I don't have to move around the camera. I can have the camera move and fit the frame that I want, or like if I don't have enough headroom, then I can move it up a little bit. So you can do all that in camera you can do all that with your phone, and you don't have to get up and move the camera, then sit back down, then get up again, move the camera, then sit back down. So it makes it good for that. So let's look at. I want to look at some of the prices here, and then we'll go ahead and go. If you guys have any questions at that point, then we can address some of those questions too. So let's see here. Yeah, let me go back here until I have this all set up here. Okay. So let's see. I have to open up another window. Okay. Never. Uh-oh. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull these up, or these links up here. All right, guys, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot. And like I said, brand new channel. So guys, please, if you can, hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. And we'll be putting out content on a regular basis, at least once a week. And I plan to put out even more stuff. The reason that I started this channel is because I wanted to focus on. I would get so many compliments on videos and stuff like that, so I wanted to talk to people about that because people had so many questions about, oh, so what kind of camera are you using, and how do you do this, how do you do that, how do you do your live streams? They look really good. How do you get the scroll? All that stuff. We'll be talking about that on this channel. So that's why I wanted to get the channel going. But I need your support, so please, if you guys can subscribe to the channel, if you guys can like the videos, if you could share it out with your friends, that would really help out and bring more people in. And the more people that we have in here, it does two things. The more people we have in here, the better discussions that we can have. Also, the more people that we have in here, the more it drives me to want to put out more content. I'm only human, and if I see that if I see that stuff is working, then I'm gonna devote a lot more time to it. So that's one way that you guys can really help me. Okay, so let's switch over to the desktop here. Let's see, desktop. Okay. All right, so we're just going to their website right now, and then I will go on to. Okay. All right, we're getting feedback here. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let's see. I have to open up another window. Okay. Let's stop that. Okay. That should not have even been on. All right. So we're on the website right now, and okay. All right. I'm just waiting for things to load up. They're just taking forever. And I see that there are some questions here. Let me get to these questions, and then we'll look at the website while it's loading. Let's see. Would you consider this a more travel YouTube camera? Um, yes, I would. I would consider it more of a travel camera, but this is the way you need to look at things when it comes to starting. If you're, especially if you're just starting out. If you're just starting out, getting a YouTube channel going, some of the things you need to think about: how many cameras do you need? And I'm telling you, I have so many different cameras right now, and I don't bring them all when I travel. Okay, so I'll have cameras that, like this Panasonic G7, it's up in the air if I bring it, because I know that I could use it for sit down stuff, but I can't really use it for much else. I'm not going to be able to go out, walk around with the camera. It's just, there's no image stabilization in the camera, so it doesn't, so it's shaky footage, as well as the focus on this camera, the autofocus on the camera is not very good, so it's not reliable. So I usually will either leave the camera in the, well, I'll always leave the camera in the hotel room if I bring it. But in some situations, I don't even bring it. I just use, I have the Sony a7R III that I'll bring with me because I shoot photography, a lot of photography. So I always bring that camera anyway, so I can use that camera for video if I need to. And then I'll bring the Osmo Pocket. I'm telling you, this Osmo Pocket, I have it with me everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I have this camera with me. So if you're in a situation where you have not purchased any cameras and you're thinking, okay, well, I want to get a camera to get me going, and I do like to travel, or I want to vlog, so I want to walk around, even not just travel, but just vlogging, just going out to the store to shoot video or going somewhere to shoot video, you'll want something you can put in your pocket, because you don't always want to have that camera out. You don't want to have to carry a camera bag. I'm not one to want to always have to carry my camera bag. So it's good to have something that I can just put in my pocket, and if I'm out walking around and I see something and I think, oh, you know what, I want to do a vlog about this, or I want to do a food review at this place, I can do the food review, put it back in my pocket, and go on my way. Even if I have this, and then I have a setup where I'm using the mic, the wireless mics. This is all I need, and I can easily. I think you guys can see me still. Yeah, I can easily use these two things. But I have this in my front pocket, have this in my other front pocket, and I'm good. I don't have to worry about carrying a bag or anything else. Okay, so that's the main reason for that. All right, so looking at the Osmo Pocket, let's go ahead and open that up here. Let's see. So they have these different Osmos, and I don't know that much about all the different Osmos. I never got an Osmo before in my life, so this was the first one that I got, and like I said, I got it a year ago, right when it first was launched. But you can also get the ones for your phone here. So that's a big, see, that's a big image stable, or a big gimbal there. So you're going to be walking around with that big gimbal, right? It's pretty noticeable. But you can also go with the Osmo Pocket. So right now, yeah, it's $90 off, so it is $309. So that's good. Osmo Action. I do have the Osmo Action. I like the Osmo Action, but the Osmo Pocket in my mind is better. The Osmo Action is not an all-around camera. That's not a camera that you're going to want to walk around vlogging with, even though you can. It's possible. And the Osmo Action, I don't have the Osmo Action right here, but I do have I have all the little dongle things. But this is what you can use, so you can hook a mic into this one too. Oops, excuse me. You can hook a mic into this one too. So I just plug this into the Osmo Action, and then I can have it mic'd up the same way that the Osmo Pocket is. I'm hoping that in the future they go ahead and just incorporate that into the Osmo Pocket. So if you ask me, okay, well, what are some changes that they should make in the newer version of this Osmo Pocket? One, they need to have that the audio, the mic input, just have it somewhere on the camera. So I shouldn't have to have a separate little dongle that I use to plug that in. So have that in camera, and then also have the wireless in camera. Those are my two main gripes when it comes to the Osmo Pocket. Battery, I know there's been some argument or some talk about having a battery that is an external battery, so a battery that I can plug into it and then charge, so I can have a few different batteries that I can have charged up, have them in my pocket and just switch them out. That would be nice. That is not a deal breaker for me because, like I told you, the beauty of this setup right here is I can have it all in one. But then also, if another thing you can do is you can use a battery bank. So like the battery bank I was talking about, and this is the size of a wallet. So I can have this in my back pocket, and then I can run a cord. Just run a cord up to the device. So if I'm holding the device, I have this in my back pocket. You just see a little cord that comes out, and then I can have this. And this is 10,000 milliamp. So this will last you all day with the Osmo Pocket. That's another good option there. But yeah, the two major things is the mic input. I would want that, and then the wireless. Just have the wireless all built in. And then when it comes to sensor size, Osmo. This is the Osmo Pocket, but they do have some other Osmos that are a little larger. I would love for them to have a 1-inch sensor in this little device here. I think it would be excellent. It would really 1-inch sensors. You'll usually see those as Sony. What are those Sony cameras? The oh my God, I just completely lost that camera. But like the G7, the GX7, the Canon camera, the Panasonic LX10, and the what are the Sonys? Oh my God, I can't remember the name of the Sonys. Sony has a brand of point and shoot camera that's really good for vlogging, but I can't think of the name of those right now. But anyway, give it a 1-inch sensor. It'll just give you better low light capabilities. Another thing that where this camera kind of falls a little short is shooting in low light. So if you are shooting in low light, it's gonna be challenging because the sensor is very small on this camera. So you're gonna wanna shoot during the day for the most part, which pretty much all cameras that are this size, cell phones, all this stuff, you're gonna have challenges when it comes to low light, and that's where you're gonna need to pull out a bigger camera, APS-C size sensor or a full frame sensor in order to really get some good footage when it comes down to it, low light. But you can't have everything, but I think the Osmo Pocket gives you a lot of what you will need if you're out shooting. Okay, so we are here looking at the website, and so it's $300 for the actual Osmo, and I'm almost tempted to buy another one, to be honest with you, because I want to have a backup. I like having backups of everything. I will be going to Carnival in a couple of months, and so I want to have something as a backup, so that I might buy another one. Now they're I mean, the price at $300 is pretty good, so something to think about, getting another one. But the thing is, I don't want to buy another one and then they release next year sometime. They release the newer one, so just something I have to think about. Another good thing too is they have
Meet Osmo Pocket, a compact, stabilized smart camera that was made to fit in every moment. Osmo Pocket puts the power of stable camera movement in the palm of your hand.
There it goes. All right, so another thing to think about too is, oh man, I think I hit it too many times. Okay, so another thing to think about too when it comes to the Osmo or any DJI products, period, any DJI product, they always have like the care plan. So you can get like 1 year of warranty, or not even warranty, 1 year of insurance. So if I drop it, if I break it, I can always send it back, and they will give you either a new camera, or they'll fix the camera. And so they have one plan, but it kind of goes different ways. So I think you get one full replacement of like a brand new device, and then you get, like, if you damage it, you can send it back in, and then at some point you might have to pay a little bit extra in order to get things fixed. But it's nice to know that they have these little things in place, because we all drop stuff and we might damage our camera. And so it's good to know that they'll do that. And that's a first year. So you get it, you have it for 1 year. Then after that, then then you'll be on your own. But we're looking at a device that's $300 or $400. For most people, when you get into the camera market, that's really not that expensive. That's on a very, very low end when it comes to camera equipment. Okay, so I talked a little bit about that other thing that I had, and it's $98 now, so it's down $11. It used to be $109, and that is this expansion kit here. And the expansion kit is the scroll wheel and the wireless module. Those are the two things that I use. I don't use this other little part here, and that's just for the like hooking it up to GoPro stuff. Let's see here. How does the Osmo Pocket setup compare? Let's see, compare costs wise to the camera setup you are using to shoot the footage you're shooting right now. Okay, so very good question, Samuel. The Panasonic G7, I believe it's $497 right now. That's for the camera. Let's see. We'll go with that right now. That is a very good question. And I'll tell you exactly. So if you look at, now looking at just this camera, and I will say, I'm gonna say the camera and the wireless module are necessities to shoot kind of the way that I'm shooting now. I would need a wireless module so I can remotely control the camera, record and all that stuff. So doing that, it would be, I'm going to round it up. So right now it's $300. With that, we'll say you get that expansion kit, right? It'll be $400 total for actually, I shouldn't say that, not 400 total. So 400, yeah, we'll say $420. You need to buy this little dongle here. And this little dongle is going to cost you, I think it's like $50. So the wireless module, I believe, is around $60. This is like $50. We'll say it's like $420 total for the camera, plus the dongle, plus the wireless module. Okay, so Panasonic G7, we're now looking at, I believe it's $497 without a lens. I could be wrong. Actually, no, it is. It's $447 right now, okay? That's with a lens. The only problem is that lens is not the lens that I use. Okay, I use a different lens, and I'll show you that lens right now. So if I want to buy it just body only, and when it comes to cameras, depending on what stuff you already have, you might want to just get body only and buy the lenses separate. The 14 to 42, this lens is not really a lens that I would use. Because it just doesn't give me the stuff that I want. I want to be able to shoot low light, and it's not going to allow me to do that. So let's see. Let's pull up. I just want to pull up the body only and see how much that is. Okay, so see that, and that price is not even, it doesn't make any sense, right? One thing to note too is the GH5 right now is an excellent deal. I think it's like $1,300, and I'm going to be picking up one of those. Here it is right here, $1,300, $1,297. They have like a $700 instant rebate. That is a beast of a camera. The GH5 is it's the best camera that's out right now. In my opinion, when it comes to shooting video and giving you all the features that you need. 4K 60 frames per second, excellent, 10-bit. It's an excellent camera. You have a lot of cameras that are out right now that are comparable to it, but they miss it. They miss certain things that the Panasonic, you can shoot a full-on documentary with that camera. And the image stabilization on that camera is just amazing. You can't compare the image stabilization with the Panasonic cameras. The in-body image stabilization is absolutely excellent. Okay, so I can't find body only on this. I don't see a price for this one. So because I can't find body only, we'll go with this one here. So 447. Now look at it this way, that lens, we're gonna say the lens is comparable. The lens that I use is the Panasonic 25 millimeter, and it's usually pretty reasonable. 25 millimeter 1.7, and the f1.7 is something that you should consider because it's great for low light. So I don't really need much light with that lens. So what that means is if I'm traveling and I want to use it and I don't want to bring my camera equipment or my lighting equipment, then I can do it. I can just sit in front of a window and I don't even need much light from the window, and I can still get a nice, I can be correctly exposed. So this is what I use right here. So the 25 millimeter 1.7. So let's just, I'm gonna say that lens is the same price as the other lens that we were looking at, or the other camera lens. So let's just say 447 out the door for the camera, right? You already have the hookups. You don't need to buy anything additional. All you need to do is buy the camera. So we're looking at about the same price, but the only difference is that Panasonic, the sensor's larger, so you can shoot it. It shoots better in low light. It does have interchangeable lenses, so I can switch out the lenses. It does not have image stabilization. So if I want to take it out and walk around with it, I'm going to need some type of stabilization for it. It does have lenses, like the kit lens that comes with it. It does have image stabilization, but nothing will compare. Nothing will compare to a gimbal. It just doesn't. I say nothing. Now they have digital image stabilization. You see it in the GoPro. You see it in the Osmo Action. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. But the gimbals are, when it comes to larger cameras, you're not going to, like the Panasonic G7, you're not going to get like a digital image stabilization on that. So when it comes to, and also when you use digital image stabilization, you are cropping in on the footage a little bit, so you're losing some of the quality. So this is full quality. This is, 4K, 60 frames per second. You're getting the full quality because it is on a gimbal, and you can do more things with a gimbal. So digital image stabilization, yes, you can get some pretty steady shots. But with this, I can do the pans and the tilts, and I can do the time lapse. I can have it go to certain points and move around and all that good stuff. So you can do a lot with this. So just something to think about. But to answer your question, yeah, the price is relatively the same for both. A little bit more for the Panasonic G7. But I would argue the Panasonic G7 is going to give you better quality. The image quality is going to be better when it comes to just sitting down and shooting a video. But if I'm out and about walking around, I'm going to want to have the Osmo Pocket. It's just more practical, and it can get me more, it can take me different places that a regular larger camera is not going to be able to take you. So that's the benefit there. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Just put it in the chat. So that's mainly my setup. And if you look at some of the other little things, this little device here it's really cheap. It's just, and that's the device, the little part here that you hook your tripod into. I don't know if I can find the exact one, but let's see. Oh, let's see if they have it. It's just a little tripod mount. There's so many different ones that they've released now. So they might have some different ones out that are very similar. But you see, like this setup here, they have the same setup here where they just plug it right in. It has a battery bank on it. So they have those different versions. It's not the same one that I have, but they all do pretty much the same thing. Filters, you are going to want to invest in some filters. I do have a few filters for this camera. The main reason for that is, like I said, it does have a focal point, and so if you want, you can shoot it at 4K 24 frames per second if you want, or 4K 60 frames per second if you want. But you want to be able to control that light. So if I'm shooting in daylight, I want to be able to control the light and keep it at that 4K 24 frames per second at what would be like 50th of a second. You want to keep it around that 50th of a second in order to kind of get that motion blur that you get with a 4K 24 frames per second video. So it kind of looks kind of more cinematic. So that's what you use the filters for. And then they also have the wide angle filter too. So that's good if you want to use that. Let's see. I don't see that thing there. If I do find it, I will post it in the description. This little device, this little part here, so you can hook the tripods into it, and then hook this into it as well. And I also use, if you guys can see, let me flip this down. We'll flip the screen here so you can see it up close. So you see right there, there's a little. I don't even know what you call these things. Let's see, let me take it off. Oh, I'm not going to be able to take it off. Okay, so I can't take it off, it won't unscrew, but there's just a little section in here, a little male to male, basically. So you screw it into the bottom. All this is just a plate. So it just has these 1/4-20, and then it has a different size on there too. I don't know what the other size is, but it's a larger than the 1/4-20. So what I did is I got a male to male. So it's the larger hole, and then the 1/4-20 is at the top there. So I just screwed that into the bottom, so it fit into this plate. Actually, I think it's a different size. So I screwed it into the bottom there, and then I can screw this into the top by using that. You don't have to use this stuff that I have up here. You don't even have to have that on there. I just have it just so it can hold my if I want to use, another thing is if you want to use a shotgun mic, you can put a little shotgun mic on there too, and just hook it in to the cold shoe. But yeah, it's a great setup, and I can't find this little one here, but once I find it, I will post a link in the description. So if you guys check the video out, you'll be able to go over there and find that. But yeah, this is the setup. And like I said, if you want to see the quality that we're talking about here, I will. Matter of fact, I'll post a couple of links right now to a couple of the videos that I shot using this, because like I said, it really impressed me when I shot a couple of videos with it, and the videos were just, they were good. I couldn't see using another camera and getting the same footage as far as quality. I shouldn't say that. I could, but I'd have a big rig. I would have a big, huge rig that I would have to use in order to do that. I was even, when we were at the fruit market, I was with a couple of friends, and we were shooting video, and he was shooting video holding one camera, and then holding my Osmo Pocket to shoot. So he was shooting two videos at the same time because we're both YouTubers and we both needed the footage. And so he was able just to hold the Osmo Pocket, and it's so easy to use. All you need to do is just point it. As long as you're pointing in the direction, it's going to keep everything stable. So that was good. Okay, so let me just post a couple links. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, just put it in the chat, and then we're going to call it. But I just want to make sure you guys have access to these links here. And let's see, just go over to the channel. I just want you to see the footage so you guys will understand, okay, yeah, it does look pretty good. And we're shooting 4K, right? I edit everything in 4K now. I upload everything in 4K. And so it's great to have a camera that will do all that. Let me stop this video here. Okay. Yeah, this thing is very slow. So it's good to have a camera that will do all that, and shoot the 4K and let you
If you write anything on your computer,
give you really good quality. God, this is not loading right. All right, I'm just gonna let it load. For whatever reason, my computer is just really
you need
slow.
to get Grammarly.
I write pretty much all day, every day, and Grammarly makes my...
And it's not. Every time I click the button, it takes like 10 seconds in order for it to stop. So I apologize for all the commercials you guys are listening to. Okay, so this is the same thing here. Let's see. All right. Just looking for those videos. Once I find them, then I'll post a link, and then we'll call it here. But what we're going to be doing is, I'm going to be focusing a lot of attention on the Osmo Pocket. So if you do have an Osmo Pocket, and you want to learn more about how to use the Osmo Pocket and how I use the Osmo Pocket, then you're definitely going to want to tune in, because I'm going to be putting out a series of videos on just the Osmo Pocket, just how to use that. Because I think just using that camera alone will really up your video quality and your YouTube videos. Okay, let's see. Here's the one link here. Not gonna work. Because every time something comes on, it just does that. So we're not gonna keep going through all these. I will post a link to one. So I got this one here. So I'll post a link to this one, and you can check this one out, and then you can also just go through and check out some of the other ones. I don't want to, it's so slow now. Every time I go to something, it takes 10 seconds. I have to click on it. It takes 10 seconds in order for it to react. So if you check out that video, that was one video that I shot with the Osmo Pocket. And then there are a few other ones when I was in Colombia that I shot with the Osmo Pocket as well. And I like the results. I think it turned out really well. So check them out. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot at any time, as far as in the comment section or anything like that in the future, and I'll go ahead and answer those questions. But yeah, we'll have more videos coming out. And like I said, if you guys are new here and you're catching this and it's not live, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys are interested in hearing about, and we will be really ramping things up in the future. Because I really want to get this channel going. This set right here that you're looking at, this is the set for this channel. I do have another set for actually I have a couple more sets for the other channel, for Travel Explore Click. But this is the channel, the set that's designated for this channel. And I will be going over everything, how I got this all set up, the lighting and everything like that. And I'll give you guys a quick tip when it comes to lighting. You have to light it separately. So you have to light myself, and then I have to light the background, and I have to do it separately. You can't just turn on all your lights and think everything is just going to look fine, because honestly, in most situations, you're going to have to make adjustments when it comes to lighting, because lighting is it can be really difficult, because I want to make it look like I'm just sitting at home and everything is kind of like the natural way it's lit. But that just doesn't happen. It just doesn't come out that way when you do that. And what I mean is, when I turn my lights on in the house and I put some lights on me, it doesn't look the same. You have to have everything set up. So I recommend having like a designated space to shoot your videos in. That way you can have everything set up the way that you want it, as far as how the lighting works. And like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about that in the future, so you guys will know exactly how that works. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take off here. Thank you guys for stopping by, and we will be back on. My goal is to do a live stream every week, and so that's a goal, and then also put out a video, at least one video a week. So that's kind of the way that that's where I'm focused, so we'll go with that. All right, guys.